Crick Buzz at Stumps with Adam Collins and Harsha Bhogle. The wonder boy of England cricket has done it again. Sam Curran has rescued England from a perilous situation early in the day to force them up to 246, which looks semi-credible on what is a very difficult track to bat on here at Southampton. Harsha.
It is. I found one moment very interesting. There's Sam Curran, all of 20 years old, right? So when he's 5 years old, Jimmy Anderson's an England player. So the 7 or 8 year old is probably looking up to Jimmy Anderson like that. And here he is saying, I'll take strike. I'll shield you, I'll protect you here. But he's some player. I mean, I can see now why people said that he'll probably end up being a batsman who bowls. Yeah. He's a good bowler, make no mistake, but that's 78. I mean, we thought England were looking at 140 all out, actually, 140, 150. And that would have been the game for them, really. If England are in the game, even if they've had an unsatisfactory first day, it's largely because of this kid.
How about this for a stat? He's made 205 runs in the series. That's more than Cook and Jennings combined. They've batted 12 times collectively. He's batted 4 times. It says it all.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it was really funny. We had the batting averages for the series up, and I had to request Sunil Gavaskar not to take a look at it. I said, please don't. It'll be painful for you to see one opener averaging 70 and the other 15. But you're right, England have problems at the top of the order, yeah.
They were exacerbated by India's fantastic fast bowling quartet. They were again just bang on this morning. They got the ball hooping more than at any stage through the series. Keaton Jennings, he's in a dreadful run of form, but he copped an absolute beauty from Bumrah to get him going. Ishant was in it early on as well. Cook played a false stroke. Bairstow nicked off. Root was leg before a couple of times. If not for the fact that Bumrah overstepped, he would have been out earlier than he was. These fast bowlers, Harsha, they're going to win you the series, aren't they?
Just say that to me again, because someone of my vintage, it's music to hear. What did you just say? India's fast bowling quartet. Just say that again, because I never thought I'd ever hear that in my lifetime.
India's fast bowling quartet are going to win you the series.
There you are. But England have problems at the top of the order, and we were discussing this before play started as well, that in most teams, players want to go up the order. Here's England's number 3 wants to bat 4, England's 4 wants to bat 5, England's 5 wants to bat 6, and Worcestershire's number 3 who's batting 7. So everybody seems to be all over the place. I think there's pressure on Cook, there's pressure on Root, there's pressure on Bairstow now, because that sort of 40, 45, 50 that looks very good when you're a keeper is all of a sudden you're a pure batsman. So people want more from you. And even as we say this, there's Ben Stokes walking by thinking, what are these guys talking about? Yeah, he batted. Actually, he looked very comfortable while he was in. He's looking good, but not converting them into big scores.
Yeah, an important partnership there just to steady it when they fell to 36 for 4. Yet again, an England collapse was on. So Stokes initially, Moeen Ali, the Worcestershire batsman you mentioned before, he made 40 himself, but it just changed the tide somewhat before Curran took over. But Moeen Ali does look a good selection, his first test match of the summer.
Yes, though I'm surrounded by a few top order batsmen today who hasten to remind me that batting at 7 is different from batting at 3 or 4. But that partnership of 81, that's from 86 for 6 to take England to 246. But I got so carried away by the use of fast bowling quartet that we didn't talk about it enough. I thought Bumrah's fantastic. Yeah. Look, don't forget, just as Sam Curran's in his 4th test match, Bumrah's only in his 5th. And I got the feeling that Kohli was looking around for Bumrah, and once I heard him on the stump mic say, how many overs have you bowled? And then he said, sorry, you'll have to give me 2 or 3 more. I think Bumrah had bowled 18 at that time, and he said, no, you'll have to give me 2 or 3 more. And that's when Bumrah came back and got the wicket of Stuart Broad, I think. So he's already become the go-to bowler. Shami's already become the 3rd seamer. So see how subtly things change. Shami doesn't get the new ball. Ishant and Bumrah get those. Shami comes in as 3rd seamer, but that's good because I thought Shami bowled a really good spell either side of lunch. The bowlers are doing the bit. Maybe Hardik Pandya slightly off day, but that's okay. He's only the 5th bowler. I
was going to say, they all played their role, didn't they? They all took a wicket and he got Alistair Cook out. So it's all you can really do in that situation. But it was some late order batting. You mentioned 86 for 6. At Edgbaston, it was 87 for 7 before the late rally occurred. Stuart Broad was involved today with Curran. You feel like this will probably be a low-scoring test match. This could be a lot of fun over the next couple of days.
I'm very interested to see what it does at the start of day 2, because Bumrah said to Nasser that it did more than they thought it would in the morning. So I don't know if the second morning will be like that as well. But if India can ride that, you see, batting became easier when the ball was 50, 60 years old. And luckily for England, they got those, even though they're 7 and 8 batting. If you can have one of the top 4 batting at that point, then suddenly it just changes the way things are. And I think that's what India are looking at.
Put your captaincy armband on. If you're leading the England side,
He's such a good man. He's such a good man.
on the way into stumps, are you bowling Sam Curran? Given he's on the heater, he's made 78. He's been out there for 160 runs. A lot of sundries we should add as well through the gloves of the wicketkeeper. That's a separate point altogether.
The rest of the world calls them extras, Adam, but you Aussies have to call them sundries.
Well, I got to keep my quirk somewhere. Would have you bowled Sam Curran at the start purely because of the sort of red hot form he's in?
I think so. Especially there was a left-hander there, and he swings the ball away. So I would have thought, I know Stuart Broad and Anderson are this legendary opening pair for England, but maybe I would have gotten over from Sam Curran.
And how important is tomorrow? The Indian top order haven't, notwithstanding a decent effort in a second dig at Trent Bridge, they haven't pulled up trees in this series so far. It's clutch, isn't it? If they can find a way to bat the whole day tomorrow, they could set up this finale at the Oval next week. It all comes down to this.
If India bat the full day tomorrow, and full day, by the way, is not 90 overs these days. Full day plus half an hour is only about 83, 84 overs. But if India bat 80, 85 overs, let's say, and you're scoring at 3 and a half an over, you've already covered England's score with wickets in hand. So tomorrow is the build-up to two-day for India. But we'll wait and see how it goes.
We'll do a whole other blog on slow over rates another time. It was disgraceful today. We'll come back to that on Crick Buzz at Stumps. Hopefully not tomorrow. It's been a really interesting day one at Southampton. Adam Collins and Harsha Bhogle. We'll catch you tomorrow.